Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Purple Rain live show for TLT. Going into round 19. Aaron, I've missed you, mate. I've been on holidays. You held the fort really well. I've just noticed that our screens are like opposite. So I'm on Aaron, and I can't figure out how to do that live. For some reason, the stupid thing swapped it around. But anyways, I apologize. I am Trav. This is Aaron. We've got our names. Just ignore the pictures. Aaron, how are you, mate? It's been 2 weeks since I've seen you, and you did a wonderful one-on-one game review podcast, which I thought was pretty sick. I was in the chat having a chat to everybody, but you did a good job, mate.
Well, thank you. I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure how that'd go, but I mean, a bit of practice now. We've done a few together, so I know, it's just talking footy, and I just treat it like just talking to people I know, and it wasn't too bad in the end. So got that done. It's good to have you back though, so that we can get it done together.
Yeah, no, look, you did a great job. I sat there in the comments. I think there was like 270 odd comments in the end. I just replied. My mission was just to reply to literally everyone as I could. So it was pretty fun actually. The banter in the chat was fun to do. I almost contemplated giving up on the old podcast, and I'll just let you do it one on one, and I'll sit in the comments.
Yeah, well, no, let's not do that. Let's keep doing it together and bouncing ideas off each other. It's nice to have a different point of view, and sometimes it's good for the fans to hear something from another side rather than just my side, because sometimes my side's not what everyone wants to hear, and sometimes your side's not what everyone wants to hear. So it's good to get that out there.
It doesn't. That's not right. I agree. Sometimes your side's not what everyone wants to hear, but everyone wants to hear what I say, mate.
That's it. All right.
Look, I've got a quick shout out. I'm just going to bring it whilst we're at the start of this podcast. I'm just going to share this in. I've got a couple of things I want to share today, so I'm pretty excited to get back. I'm really am. But look, it's just a bit of a reminder, but a share. I did the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we officially announced that we've teamed up with Premium Sports Tours to get as many Melbourne Storm fans over to Vegas for 2027, mate. We've got a pretty bloody good deal. This is rad, and I'm super excited that we've been able to get in and on board with this for $3,390 per person, twin share. You get 7 nights from the 22nd of February to the 1st of March. Now, that's everything included, literally, except for, obviously, some food, beer, alcohol, whatever it is that you want to do when you're in Vegas, ignoring the card flickers and all those sorts of things that you see along the streets, mate. That'll get you over there, but you do need to pay for your flights on top. And that's around $2,000 they will organise for you. This is just a wonderful opportunity for people to go. We are trying to work out some cash for ourselves to get ourselves there, or at least one of us will work it out. But give Premium Sports Tour a call, 03 9525 5126, and mention Purple Rain, and they'll give you a few different deals and options that you can change to make it a little bit cheaper if you wanted to, in terms of not having to sit in the elite seats and things like that. Just means that you don't sit with Daryl Broman and Big Paul Sirenen. Aaron, I know we haven't spoken about this because when I announced it first, it was you were where were you? You were at the game maybe, or you were away, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I think I missed that one. Yeah.
We announced it there, and yeah. Oh no, it was your grand final, mate.
Oh yeah. Yes, Tuesday night basketball's all over.
This is when
all over now, so we're back from that.
Yeah. So Daryl Broman and Paul Sirenen, do you know those two boys?
Yeah, I do. The big man. I think he'll be good value. I mean, he's always been good on the footy show. He seems like a fun bloke. So I mean, he would be good value on a trip like that.
He would be awesome value, I think. And he's cancer-free, so he's going to be a hell of a lot happier at the moment. So with everything that's going on with him in his life, he's got it all sorted, which is fantastic to see and hear. Mate, so that's pretty exciting news. Let us know if you do it. Send us a message or whatever if you ring up and get it organised. be keen to hear who's going and who's doing it, just to see. Really, it's a good deal. We've worked pretty hard behind the scenes to get this for you. So, and we didn't just go with your Hello Worlds and your travel agents, right? We went with the proper sports tour to make it a proper example of your trip. It's not just going over to watch the footy and get home. It's going over for a good week holiday. Next on the list, I just want to give a shout out to is Freedom Finance. Give Con a call. The link will be in the chat and also in the bio when we post it tonight. And mention Purple Rain, and he gives you a $500 cashback offer, which is very rare at the moment. So give him a call, get your finances sorted. Mate, we've got a big show. Everybody that's now starting to sort of chime in, which is good. Get in the chat and let us know your thoughts and how we're going. But we've got a big one. We're going to start off with a whole heap of talking points, and I can categorically tell you that things are going to get heated between Aaron and I in about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll be respectful, but I can just tell you now that Aaron's wrong and I'm right, and we'll have a chat about it soon. But the first talking point, mate, is let's just do a little bit of a ladder position analysis. So currently, do you know where we are on the ladder?
12th.
We are 12th. How many games away from we're 2 games away from 7th, which is the Sea Eagles and the Rabbitohs, who are in 8th. Ahead of us is the Bulldogs and the Cowboys in 10th and 9th. We have 18 points. They have 22. So that's that. There's a log jam fighting for 7th and 8th. That's kind of where we're sitting now. I feel like the Sharks and the Dolphins that are 3 games ahead of us with 24 points, they're a little bit too far away unless some serious big things happen. G'day, Glenn. How are you, mate? Unless some seriously interesting things happen throughout the next, 10 weeks to go? Or 8, 9 games to go. Aaron, what's your take? Where are we sitting? How do you think we're sitting? What's look at it as okay, we are a Melbourne Storm podcast, but we do pride ourselves on having an opinion and yes, we are biased towards that, but we are also realistic.
Yeah, like it feels like now we're almost at that do or die stage. We really don't have many games up our sleeve that we can afford to drop. I know there's a few hard ones on the way home, but like this next little chunk of the season is going up to the next bye. I think they'd be breaking it down into pieces of the season. And in that little period there, we've got the Titans at home, Roosters away, Rabbits away, Doggies at home, and then Manly in Perth. So the way I see it is I looked at the away record for 2026, and the Storm have only won 2 games away this year, and we've had 6 losses. So the 2 wins that we had away were against St George in round 2, which was a putrid St George. They were horrible, couldn't win a game at that time. And then the next win was Magic Round against the Eels. So I think we need to be better on the away trips, definitely. We need to try and find some wins there somehow. And I think when we're at home, especially against 15th place Titans, this is a must-win game. If we lose this one, I think it would be almost safe to say that the finals dream is over. It wouldn't be officially over, but I do think you drop this one and we're fucked.
Look, mathematically, we would still be in it, but we would be 3 games behind. It's with the Bulldogs. What are they? They play this weekend. The Bulldogs play this weekend. So yeah, who do the Bulldogs play? The Bulldogs play the Raiders, which is a very they're heavy favourites to going into that game. Manly play the Cowboys and at 4 Pines, and they're favourites to go in this game. So it would be officially 3. I think I would say that those 2 teams win this weekend. We would officially be 3 games behind going into round 20. 7 games to go, 1 bye that we still have. Mathematically still there, but we go to round 20, we play the Roosters at Allianz, then we go up to round 21 against the Rabbitohs, who are basically on the verge of starting to get healthy again. with their guys coming back. Then we've got the Bulldogs back at home. We got the Eagles back at home, and then we have our bye in 24. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We must win this week.
Yeah, definitely, and it's it's about breaking it down into bite-sized chunks, and basically that just means 1 week at a time, and 1 foot in front of each other. We've copped even more injuries last week, but it's nice to see a few troops coming back this week to fill a few holes that we've definitely still got there. So good and bad things with the team this week, but also this is a game that we definitely can win.
Yes. I'm not going to say that we're not, like, whilst we can mathematically do it and make it, I'm all in it. Yeah, it is going to be tough, as what Glenn is sitting here saying. He thinks we're not going to make it. There's a feeling in that. I see it, I get it. It's tough. It's going to be tough, but this is a game that we've got to win as we move forward. And g'day Vinny over there in New Zealand. June 30 deadline, there was a lot of news for us. There was a lot of news. So, Oryn Keeley, who we knew was signed to come next year. We got an early release for
nothing. No,
there was nothing
just
we had to give away.
Just the money.
We got him for free, basically, early.
Yeah, just the money.
Okay.
We just had to pay the money. Obviously, pay the last 4 months of his contract.
For us, we've got to pay his contract.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I
that's
took some.
really good. We've got a really good. You've got a bit of a delay, so I'm struggling to catch you. Sorry, mate.
Sorry. I was just going to say for that one, that the Dolphins had signed George Williams there, and they've got him coming next year, and they've got him there on a 2-year deal. He's the English captain, and they really didn't see Nikorima playing like he is now. Him and Isaiah Katoa have just worked a treat, and the Dolphins are flying. So Dolphins have needed to find a way to get some money, and Keeley, they knew was going anyway. He'd already signed with us. So they're in a position now where they weren't playing him. They were playing him through the twos, and they were using him in as a little bit of depth, but he wasn't getting many minutes in the ones. So they had a real opportunity there to save himself 150 grand in the last bit of Keeley's contract, put it towards an upgrade for Nikorima, and still hopefully keep him in the side for next year. So they've done that. I think it's actually turned out to be a win-win for each side. We definitely need extra help there in the second row with Katoa out for the season. Blore, whatever's going on there, he's not 100%. He's not getting picked this week. He has been playing 10, 15 minutes a game the weeks before that. So, and then Lasardi goes and does a syndesmosis. So, like this week, we've named 2 players that aren't even second rowers in the second row, and we've just got one in from another club who does have a bright future and who will be a good player. So it's great that he can, spend a few rounds with us before next year when the pressure's not really on, and then do a full preseason, and by round 1 he'll be fit and flying and ready to go.
Yeah, look, Keel, I love this signing for us, and to be able to get him early is huge. Look, to be fair, he was I think he played 16 games in 2025. But he's not going to get a game in front of Connolly Lemalelu and Fine Fuiaki. That's their edges. Those two are monsters. They've locked that down. Donahue comes off the bench, who can play there if he has to, even though he's more of a hooker and things, but he can. They've got Ray Stone, who can go through. They've got guys that can fill in. They don't need to be paying a Keeley to do that. So it made sense with everything to release him. It was a good signing, and it's a great thing for us. There are lots of people in the comments today, Aaron, who have mentioned that they would like to have seen him start today. I'll get your opinion on that in just a second, but my opinion is he's only been with us for a week. I don't like it. If it was over, he had gone and done a whole preseason and round 1, and here's our team and off we go. Yeah, that's a different story. He's a June 30 deadline transfer. He's been with us for a week. Yes, he's gone and done the camps. Yes, he's gone and done all those things, but you got to earn your right to get into this position. You don't just come in as a signing and then just and start playing, even with some of the injuries. I think he plays. I think he gets some decent minutes, but I'm actually glad culture will set and standards set that he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind having an 80-minute back rower that can stay there for the whole game. And I definitely think Keeley could do it. You could put him there and he'd do a job. But as you said, there is a standard to keep. And it's he can come in, Clarkey can go back through the middle, or potentially, this Chan might come in and play on an edge as well. There's two options there to play him. So, yeah, as you said, he's going to play. I don't really mind him coming off the bench. It's not the worst thing.
No. Next is we've all heard that Blore. Well, it's not really a June 30 deadline, but the Dragons have cancelled their contract offer to Blore in chase of other needs elsewhere. Got any thoughts on that one?
I don't know. I thought that one was done. Like the talk around that was close. So something's blown up that deal. There's been I don't know why that's blown up. I thought wouldn't have been a bad signing for the Dragons, but the other talk is that Tigers are after him. But it makes no sense to me. They've got KPP and Samelafenu, who for me start in front of Blore anyway, especially the way that their combinations there have been working. So I find that a little bit strange. But Blore now is we're 3 or 4 months away from November 1. He's uncontracted for next year. I think the market will heat up for his services in the next. It's clear that the Storm are moving in a different direction. I mean, it hasn't been actually said there, but it is clear. It's been a topic of conversation since last year. We just haven't heard anything official. So I think there'll be some Sydney clubs that might make an offer, but how much he gets for his next deal, who knows? He's cutting it fine now.
I like Blore. I think Blore fits that edge perfectly for us at the
Hmm.
Storm, and he's got a really good partnership, and he blends nicely next to Munster. But I think if he goes to Sydney, he's not going to find a pay packet. I think
Yeah, no,
he's going there to sort his life out because I don't think anyone's going to pay him at the moment with the way that he has been going and his injuries and things like that. I don't think he's warranting any money.
especially given the fact he's only getting this 20 minutes a game and we're playing him off the bench. We're playing Cooper Clark on an edge in front of him, and then he's coming on and yeah, looks energetic when he gets on the field. But like, what? It makes no sense. It's not doing him any favors in the search for a new contract, and potentially that's why the Dragons have pulled out because they're onto something or something's going on. So who knows?
Mm. Pappy. Let's talk about that before we get into a couple of big ones. So Pappy says no deal, just the last couple of days to no Jorge. So he's just mentioned, isn't he going to the? So there's another one there, Aaron, he
I
said he
can
was
see
going to
that.
the
Yeah.
Dragons. Dragons actually just said that they've cancelled. So they've actually they've pulled the pin on their offer, and he is now no longer going to the Dragons. Well, not under that deal, anyways. Next on the list is Pappy. Now, only the last few days, Pappy's come out and said no deal. He is not going to the Bulldogs and has no idea where the rumours have come out and doesn't know anything about returning to the NRL and thinks it's all news to him. I thought it was quite funny when you sent me that. I watched the podcast. You had a good laugh at it too, Azza.
Like I was at the gym. I had the headphones in. I was listening to that, and mate, when Pappy started just saying like, I'm just not playing footy again, and I don't know where these rumours come from, I was just giggling. I think he's made it pretty clear. He's not interested. He said at the end of that podcast that yeah, first grade touch is a potential plan of his for the end of the year, and for him to get back to that, he needs to do a lot of fitness and he needs to get his body right because he hasn't done anything all year to be up to that level. But I don't think Paps is going to play union or league ever again. I think that ship has sailed and he's done what's right for his health. And I think he's actually had a really good year out there
That was the point,
overseas.
though, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it's just like,
I
where
think
did
that was the
Kenty get
biggest
that from?
point that he said. That's what I took.
Yeah, what?
The health news is what he said he was doing, and I don't want any more head knocks. My health is my concern. I'm not playing this sport anymore. So like, he was very clear with that.
Yeah, for sure, he was.
Glenn says Pappy has been saying he's not coming back on the 167 for a long time now, which is exactly right. He has been, and he clarified that, and I thought it was hilarious. All right. Lots of coach chatter. It's all around Billy saying that there was a handshake deal for Origin in 2027. He since came out today and mentioned that there's a big blow up and that this is, it's become a bit of a, what is it? I don't know. What was his exact words, Aaron?
Look, basically he said that it had been blown out of proportion, and that he didn't mean it that way. And he said he was sorry if he caused any confusion with his comments, because I think the way Billy meant for that to sound is that I'm not going to lock in 2 years now. And I genuinely think that Billy's going to do that because he knows that if something goes down with Bellamy, and Bellamy does have to step away, he's kind of got like a unwritten agreement with the Storm, which he's kind of said that if something happens, he'll step in a heartbeat. So I think that's what he tried to portray and tried to get across, but everyone took that as I'm not committing to the Maroons because I might be going to do another job, whereas I think it's completely opposite to that. I think I will coach the Maroons unless I'm needed to do this other thing, and if this other thing does come up, I am 100% committed to doing that too. So I think Ben Eichen gets it. He came out in his conversation and he knows where Billy's at. It's not like he's in the dark with Billy's intentions for next year. It sounds like Billy's in. He's going to coach 27 for the Queensland unless something drastic happens.
I agree, and I've said this all along. I still think Billy coaches Origin in 2027, but I think there's something a little bit more so on the side. There's a bit of an assistant coach type role or something that happens that he sort of steps into to help as a stepping stone. That's my feel. That's how I think it's going to be. I don't think he will be. Well, I think Bellamy will still be coaching, but there was a bit of a thought that he would. I did think once Origin period was done this year that the talks would ramp up a fair bit more with Bellamy and what Billy might be doing, but that kind of created a bit of a chat around this post that I'm sharing on the screen that we put out 2 days ago or yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning. About do you see Riles as part of the Storm's head coaching plan moving beyond? And if it's not him, was it going to be Billy Slater? Was it Mark Brentnell? Was it Aaron Bellamy? Or is there someone else out there? And this was a bit of a chatter, and it's all come because of those comments from Billy. Aaron, give us your take. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, so when we had this chat offline, I said that it just feels like Riles now has done a really good apprenticeship. Now, I know that he wouldn't be my first preference. My first preference is Billy, but all the talk that you get from Billy is that he's kind of happy doing the things that he's doing. So if that doesn't go ahead, I don't mind the chat of Riles.
Sorry, Aaron. Do you think the talk about Billy doing what Billy loves doing is because he thinks, that's the talk that's been happening for years now, because Bellamy was going to be around forever, right? Like, that's just the way it was, and he would just extend his contract year on year, and we just all sort of expected that. Do you think was that just a bit of a cover-up type thing? Like, I've got a bit of a feeling that's kind of my feeling.
No, I don't think so, to be honest. I think, he's got his horses. He does the Melbourne Cup. He does that. He does the Magic Millions. He coaches the Queensland. And he even said today.
Oh, we've lost you. Oh, no, he's back.
Sorry, am I there?
No, you
got me?
Just
Can you
cut
hear?
out, mate. This is what happens.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
now.
Sorry,
Yep.
it's because I'm on the phone and my son's got his iPad and it's school holidays has got me. But yeah, I just think I think he genuinely likes what he's doing. But in saying that, if he did get a run now and had to do a little bit of a caretaker thing with Bellamy and jump in and get that extra role like you talked about before, maybe he finds a love for it. Maybe he really enjoys it, and maybe he does grow into a role where he could be a long-term coach for the Storm, and that's my priority. not my priority, but that's what I'd like to see most. I think that would fit the group. I think that would just be great for morale. I think everyone would respect Billy, and I don't think anyone in the organisation would not want that to happen. So first of all, I'll say that. But I just thought with Riles' apprenticeship that he's done, which is he's been the assistant coach at the Storm, he's been the assistant coach at the Roosters. He went off and did a union staff job during the World Cup. He went back and then come back to the Storm and was a coaching coordinator, and now has 4-year role at Para as a head coach. That lines up with when Bellamy was supposed to finish his contract. I just thought that was a little bit convenient, and potentially it was a plan.
I don't think we released Jason Riles to go and coach Parramatta for 4 years to then say, see you later when Bellamy says it's time to retire and we bring him back. And to be fair, I haven't seen enough of Riles to show me that I want him at the Storm. Like, okay, so this is just my opinion. I'm Trav. I talk on Purple Rain. I give my opinion. It's probably wrong, but it is what it is. I don't like there was a chunk last year for Parramatta that as most people know, I was doing full NRL content, talking full NRL, all-encompassing, and we ended up talking a fair bit about Para because last year was a shocking year for them, and they got Riles over, but they finished off really well, and that was about the only part of the year that I thought Riles showed me that he was an NRL coach. But that was all not... I don't think it was that much about Jason Riles as more of a Mitchell Moses took control and led that team and just showed that he is one of the best players when healthy in the competition. I actually haven't seen much of Jason Riles in terms of making good cultural calls, holding the line for people, putting your foot down and saying this is the way we need to play. I'm not even seeing much about Parramatta in terms of game plan that I like, that I think Jason Riles has actually put through. To me, he hasn't shown me that that he is a coach that would be able to coach a team like the Melbourne Storm in that pressure box. Parramatta, unfortunately, are a basket case because of their management. Their team is pretty good. I like it on paper, and yes, they've dealt with a lot of injuries, but I don't see enough from Riles to tell me that he's a Melbourne Storm coach, and that's a concern. He's far below any of the... I would much rather Mark Brentnall. I would much rather Aaron Bellamy, and I sure as hell would much rather Billy Slater over the whole lot of them. And I think Billy, just with what he's done as Origin, I think Billy has a lot to learn as a coach for sure. Coaching Origin. And then coaching a team for 27 rounds plus preseason is very different. But I think what I've seen from Billy is that Billy's happy to make tough calls when things need to be made. Billy will set the culture. Billy will pull people in line, and Billy will also stick to and trust you and show you that. And I really like that call. So I'm very much in favour of Billy learning the coaching reins straight up. I think he's my number one. I would then go, my number two is actually Aaron Bellamy. Like, if you can't have Craig Bellamy, can you have I would love to have another Bellamy, so he would be my number two.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Riles has done the right thing by Parramatta. He played the kids last year when the back end of the year when there was an opportunity like that. They were done, so that they started focusing on 2026 early. And as you said, they finished really well with the kids and played the new guys. And then this year, Parramatta have had the worst injury toll in the whole competition. They're actually leading the competition for the worst injury toll. And this year, he's not coaching the Melbourne Storm who played in the grand final last year, who's had a lesser injury toll, and we're sitting 12th. He's coaching a team last year that was bottom of the ladder and still has an injury toll. So I don't think he's got a lot to work with. I think it's going to take 3 or 4 years to turn that club around to being consistent. I don't think anyone could have gone in there and had immediate results with what he's been dealt with.
No, but you can certainly put your foot down, and you can certainly start to change the way they play and game style and expectations and what they want. All he did when he first rocked up there in 2024 was get rid of a whole heap of dead weight to save cash, and then nothing's happened. Right, so yes, that club is poor because of other things outside of his control, but there are things I just don't see Jason Riles. Like I can't see where he's put foot down. Like let's go like a Cameron Ciraldo turns up in his first year, and that team, the Bulldogs, are on the bottom of the ladder. We're very close to it. But what do we see? We see defense. We see hard nut. We see utility guys playing different roles, and then that's how they rolled it. I don't see that. I see Mitchell Moses dominates the league for the last 7 games, and they almost get to the finals. That's what I saw last year. Glenn, we will have a bit of a look at how long Billy's contract is and get back to you with Channel 9. I'm not 100% sure. And Jorge says, is Cam Smith completely out of the question? He did take that role at the Broncos, or is that too far-fetched? I wouldn't say far-fetched, but I don't think that's an option at all. Aaron, do you have anything on that?
Give me Cameron Smith every day of the week, but it won't happen. He's in Queensland now. His family's up there. I just cannot see that happening. He might. He won't even come back, and I don't think he'll be a mentor down here either. It's a ship sailed. He's up in Queensland. He's doing his commentary, and I think that'll stay. That's my guess.
All right, let's go to I was just reading some of the comments to see what people were saying. I'm going to stop sharing that. And the next piece was the Melbourne Storm have signed Bronson Xerri to a 3-year deal that starts in 2027. We did try to get him early, but was unfortunately unable to get that. Aaron, how do you feel about Bronson Xerri?
Look, I'm definitely excited for next year. As we spoke about this a little bit. I spoke about this a little bit last week. We haven't had a strike centre that we can attack through for a long time. I mean, we've always just had centres that are doing their role and defending well. And I really think Xerri can be a point of difference where we can attack through that edge. So I'm excited to get him here. And to be honest, I would have liked to have get him here as well. Now I think he would have added something, but I don't think he would have been the magic bullet that saves our season. So I think it's definitely good for next year. But I am, I don't think I wouldn't have given up anybody on our roster to get him here this year, unless it was Amini who's already leaving. Or, I wouldn't have given away Wishy, but yeah. Or Blore, maybe.
Okay, so talk to me. You wouldn't have given anyone on our roster away to get Bronson Xerri early?
No. Because the way it works for me, the way it works for me is that we hold the terms of the agreement, and the agreement is that we've signed him for next year. So we've got the power. And then what happens there is the doggies say, okay, we don't want him anymore, so you can have him next year. So that deal's done. So we've already got him. Then we say, can we have him now? And they say, oh, you can have him now if you give us someone. Well, that just gives them the power, and they're dictating terms again. And they're trying to take away a part of our future, a kid that we've had since 2022 who's played rep footy.
Who is the kid?
He's Jai Bowden, and we got him down at a 17-year-old from Queensland. He's played rep footy for 3 years. He's touted future star. He's only 19 years old. He's 7 years younger than Harry Grant. So, whereas Gabriel Satrick's only 5 years younger than Harry Grant. So it probably works into a timeline a little bit better. When Harry's 33 or something like that, Jai would only be 25. So I think Storm have put a lot of eggs in that basket, and they've got him contracted to next year, so they don't want to give that up.
All right.
For a 3-month period.
We're talking about. So the word was that the Bulldogs asked for Bowden. to release Xerri early. Now, technically that's officially the way this whole June 30 was supposed to be intended. That was the way it was built, was that if you signed early, or if you signed early for the year after or coming up, there was a conversation around the June 30 deadline that people could then be released early to go and play for that club or play for another club on the lines of going to that extra contract. Now, there's another way around it, like what Connor Watson has done, where he signed with PNG, and then the Roosters just said, well, rightio, and then he said, well, I'm going to go and play for the Dragons, and so he's gone to the Dragons next week. Next year, and then he'll go to PNG in 28. So there's a few things here. To be honest, Harry Grant, do you know how old Harry Grant is? He's
28.
28. Harry Grant is going to go down as one of the best hookers in the competition. Harry Grant's going to be hanging around our club and playing for our club as the captain for, another 7 years at least?
6 years.
Until he's 35.
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 to 7, 35-ish. And Harry Grant will still be really good. We could have given a kid who, I understand, but I understand the thoughts around this, but this is a kid who's, we've signed him till the end of 2027, so he's going to play with us next year. That doesn't mean that he's guaranteed beyond that, and he's probably one of those ones where he goes, well, I either sit here for 6 to 7 years behind Harry Grant, who's going to go and learn, and then when I'm 25 or whatever, I can play, or I can go somewhere else and go and put myself down, because there are many clubs out there looking for a good hooker. Now, as much as I like to keep these guys, for the best interests of the club, Bronson Xerri coming before June 30 would have helped us enormously, a hell of a lot more than what Jai Bowden can. Now, Jai Bowden might be a superstar, and that might come back to haunt me in 10 years' time. But in 10 years' time, there'll be a plethora of really good hookers. Like, we've got Satrick, and as you said, it's 5 years younger than... So, okay, so here we go. He's going to be a lot younger than... He's only 2 years older than what... Bowden is, but he's there. Like, it blows my mind that we said no to a kid that we're potentially going to lose at the end of 2027 for nothing, when we could have got Xerri and we'd have been playing him this week like we did for Keeley, who's a premier centre in the competition. It's, to me, that's just... Like, I get it, yeah, you're protecting your kids. I get that. I understand all that sort of stuff. But I'm also about the club and winning now, and not winning in 10 years' time when this kid's potentially going to jump in. And hopefully by then we've hooked up someone else. So I just think this is really, really poor. This is dumb to me. To me, this, I'm going to put it straight out there, and I'll probably cop it, but I think that's dumb.
Yeah, and I'm completely the other way. I love this. I love that the club just said, no, piss off. You're not having anyone for it. We don't need to give you anyone. We've signed him for next year, not for this year. We've just asked for this year. There's no need for us to give a player unless we want it, like we need it, and we don't need it.
But we do. We do need him.
No, he's not the magic bullet.
Can you think how good we'd be much better with him in our club, playing for these last few games, pushing for finals, helping us tip us over the line, going into finals, and then he goes into, and maybe we make the finals, and then he goes into off-season with us as well. Like, that's just huge for a kid who's a superstar, and I love it. I love him, and it's all good, but who's probably never going to play for us.
So does Xerri come and start off the bench?
It really makes no sense.
Does Xerri come and start off the bench?
Probably.
Hmm.
Like we've had Mania, just like we've had Leo, just like we've had these guys coming off the bench already. And Cherry's a tenfold better player than them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think centre's an 80-minute position. We've got centres available. It's not like centre's the issue where we're most struggling at the moment. We've got 3 or 4 options. I don't know. I don't know. We're on different paths on this one, but I wouldn't have given away a kid. I would have given away probably 3 people in the squad, maybe 2 actually. I probably would have been happy to give away Meaney because we would have a centre cover, and Meaney's going anyway. I would be happy to give away Blore because as you know, we're not going to sign him, and we're playing other people there anyway. And that might be it, to be honest, because I definitely wouldn't give Wishy away.
But Wishy's going as well.
Yeah, but
So
he's too important.
again.
Yeah, he's too important.
Interesting.
He's
Look,
in
we're very
he's
much
in the leadership
different,
group.
and I think so. Like for the last 9 games where we're pushing for finals, like I would have. He's leaving anyways. It does. Look, we're very much in a different position. We're 40 minutes in. Let's get into some TLT, and I love that we are actually on the different path, Aaron. It's good not to be thinking the same. Hopefully you all. I was kind of hoping some comments got in there and would have told us what they thought, but they hopefully they get in through the. I might chop that section up and put it up as a bit of a reel or something and see if we can get the comments going on what people's opinions are. So we play the Titans Sunday, 6:15. It's round 19. We have a lot of ins and there are a few outs. Out goes Atavalu Lasati with that syndesmosis injury, which is 6 to 8 weeks. Moses Leo, concussion still. Unfortunately, Sean Blore, I'm not sure. Aaron, you probably know a little bit more about why he's out. I'm not 100% sure there.
Leo? Was that Leo?
Blore.
No, look, I thought he would have played for sure. We need him. We need him this week. I would have played him, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know why he's not playing.
No idea. I thought off the bench for sure this week.
And Stanley Hewen has been dropped. So that leaves us with our fullback as Sua, our wingers Warbrick and Mania, and then in the centres Jack Howarth and Nick Meaney both return. Cam Munster at 5'8" if he backs up. Jerome Hughes returns from his hamstring injury at half back. Stefano and Josh King round out the props with Harry if he backs up at hooker. Cooper Clark is starting second row again with Alec McDonald coming in for Lasati and Trent Liero named at lock if he gets if he backs up, which he should. I can't see him getting huge minutes tomorrow night. I think it'll be more like basically like game 2. Off the bench, Tyron Wishart, Joe Chan, Jack Hetherington, Josiah Pahulu. Oryn Keeley is named named on the bench in his first game with the Storm, and Trent Tolau on the interchange. And just be aware, the reserves, David Mawali, STB, so Tuamaladu Brown, Gabriel Satrick and Hayden Watson. Most of those names are basically named there because if the boys don't back up, that's what can swap through. Over to the Titans, we've got Keano Kini. Geez, that's going to be a juicy matchup. Kini versus Sua at fullback. Then off the wings, you got Dean Iremaya, and which is his first game, I think, actually. Yes, it is. It's his first game for the Titans playing against. We sort of know who this guy is, don't we?
Yeah, that's always the way it works. The first game for the new club is up against the old one, so that's a positive sign. We might see Pahulu this week.
On the opposite wing is Philip Sami with Jojo Fafita and AJ Brimson in the centres. We've got 5'8" is Jaden Campbell. I was going to say JC. And Zane Harrison. We've got in the props, it's Mo Fotuaika and Tino with Oliver Pascoe at hooker. We've got in the edges Aramata Ho and Bo Fermor with Chris Randall at lock. And then the bench is Curtis Moran, Josh Patson, Cleese Haas, Cooper Bye, Sam Verrills, Jalen De Groot. Aaron, what's your initial thoughts on our list?
I actually like the names that are there all the way through. I actually think we've picked what we needed to pick 1 through to 20. I think we've got cover there. I like that Watson's there. I think he's only there just in case we get a couple of Origin guys that don't back up, and quite possibly that could happen. I mean, something could happen to Harry, something could happen to Money, and potentially Hughesy's not good. So I think to cover the 7, I think, and ideally it would be Wishy that would go in there first. That means Tolau would come into the 14, and then Watson would have to come into the extended bench there somewhere just in case there was another injury. And if it went another way, Harry was gone, I think we could do the same thing. I think Wishy could play 9. I think Tolau can go into the 14 again. So there's options there for the 6, 7 and 9 with Tolau and Wishy. And carrying Watson's just it's like a safety net there just in case we have an extra injury. 1 through 10, I think is perfect. I think Sewer, Brick, Howarth, Meany, Mania, Money, Hughes, Steph, Harry, Kingy is perfect. I think that's how we would have liked to have lined up, and I hope we do line up like that, because that would be a boost. But then when we get to that second row, I don't know. I don't think Clarkie's a second rower. I'm not saying he hasn't been doing a job there, but I thought last week he got caught out twice by Hamole early, and Manly got the jump on us, and he's just a bit slow to move. He's just not. He's young. He's learning, but we keep putting him there, which I don't know. I just want to see him through the middle. I think his future lies in the middle, and that's what we've got him for. And I know you said Keeley off the bench it's not a bad thing, and I think I see why they're doing it, but I would still like to see Keeley start on the edge, and I think I'd like to see Chan start on the other edge, because we play Chan at centre. We play him, like when we use him in a place where he's no good. Now there's a week where we can actually use him in the second row, where he's proven to be valuable, or at least have some value, and we don't put him there, and it just weakens our bench. So I don't know. I don't like the second row options there. I'd like to see that change. I'm happy with Loiero. I'm happy with Wishy there at 14. Obviously, I hope that stays, and that means the halves stay put. But then, yeah, I would put Clarkey back to the 15. I definitely would play Pahulu this week against the Titans. I think there's no better week to get him in there, because he'll want to show them what they missed out on. And then that last spot just becomes Hetherington or Macca. And to be honest, I think Hetherington deserves that spot right now over Macca. So Macca probably pushes to a 6-man bench, and we use him game dependent. And then that last spot there, I probably would play STB there just in case we have an injury to an outside back. So that's my thought on this week.
I agree with you. Based off what we've got available, I think our 1 to 10 is perfect. Mania obviously would be Leo if Leo was healthy, but I'm happy with Mania coming in. I'm comfortable with the rest. Well, more than comfortable. I think that first 10 is basically the best 10 that we can put on the park. I love Cooper Clark. Now, I'm telling you now, Cooper Clark is not going to start in front of Stefano and Josh King, but Cooper Clark needs to start, and he needs to, and I think he's got to be there. So I have no problems with Cooper Clark playing at the second row and starting as second row. I would like him to come through the middle. I 100% agree with you. So I think when Cooper Clark comes off, we put Keeley in. Cooper Clark comes off, has his rest, and then comes in and has that stint through the middle. And that is where I'm very excited. And I love that. And I'm more than happy with that. I think we just got to... Cooper Clark is just a stud. We just got to play him. And he needs minutes, and he just needs to play. He can't be sitting on the bench. I don't want him to be sitting on the bench for too long. So I want him there and playing. My biggest issue here is Alec McDonald. Now, I am like you. I've always liked Alec McDonald, but this year I have seen absolutely nothing from him that warrants his position to be a starting second row for us. And I think what happens is him starting has absolutely killed his form. He off the bench, he's one of the best punchers and players coming off someone's bench in the competition in the middle. Like, he's just got such good punch. He's got good burst of speed. He just works his ass off for that 20, 30 minutes that we can get off the bench. But when he starts, we lose everything because he has to play longer minutes. And I just don't feel like he's got that tank. I hate that Alec McDonald is not getting... I feel like we're not setting him up for success. And I think he needs to we need to stop putting him at the start and just bench him and bring him off the bench because, as you said, Joe Chan has played edge and done a pretty good job. Like, he's not been that bad. He's done... he would do a much better job as a natural edge back rower other than Alec McDonald. You know who I would even do? I'd put bloody Jack Hetherington there to give us some grunt to start the game off. Like, do that. Like, he's played edge back row before. I don't know if he's played the 12 or which one, whether he was left or right. I don't know which side, but I know that he has played through the 11 and 12. So, like, I would love to even just see that early days or early minutes of the game and just really come in with some big hits and some big touches. And the other thing too is everyone's been calling for it, and it's time to do it. We want to see Pahulu. So then how do you fit Pahulu into that list as well?
Yep. No, I agree. I agree with all that for sure. Second row is my concern. We've got options there, so hopefully we still see some changes in these couple of team list changes that will come.
All right, let's talk about Vinny. Vinny, Vinny, she wants to hear me say my David Attenborough observation of Mitchell Moses in his natural habitat. You mean as in his natural habitat of complaining and whinging to the refs, touching the refs, doing all that sort of stuff? Is that the habitat you want? If that's the case, I think I could work something out, especially now that Harry Grant's been called a cheat, mate, by Gus today, which blew up our socials, which was good.
Yeah, no, I listened to the interview. Gus was definitely taking the piss there, but he's not stupid. He takes the piss there, and he knows that gets talked about, and then he knows now that people start questioning everything that Harry does when he talks to the ref. So he's just trying to put some pressure on. He's a New South Welshman, but calling someone a cheat, I don't know. I think it crosses the line. Get into him, have some banter, but come on, that's just bullshit.
I think it more crosses the line on multiple facets, right? So this is the head of the Canterbury Bulldogs. So he's crossing the line because he's saying a comment. He's calling another person from another club a cheat, as the head of a club. So there's there's obviously a call because we do play the Bulldogs coming up during the year. So there's a bit of that in that. Also, everyone knows that Gus Gould is one of the most famous New South Welshmen, and he's very successful. And he bleeds the blue, and we all get it. So on another facet, he's called him a cheat because he wants to do that. Whether he's taking the piss or not, he was taking the piss fully knowing that he was calling someone a cheat. If he was taking the piss, he wouldn't call him a cheat. He'd call him multiple other things. Like, a cheat is full on. Like, people lose their careers for being called a cheat or getting caught cheating, like gambling and all that sort of stuff. That to me is more than crossing the line. That's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's too far, and to play it off like that is, man, it's not that he's not that clever.
No. All right, let's get into some key matchups. So I've got the first one. One of my favourite matchups of this game is the battle of the young fullbacks, Sewer versus Kini. Kini is the New Zealand fullback. Won't be their fullback for the next World Cup based on the fact that Pong has now announced that he wants to be a New Zealander. So Kini will drop back. But the guy's a freak. When he is on, he can put 300 metres on and you in a blink of an eye and you just have no idea. And then Sewer has just shown a whole heap of... Look, we talk about Sewer every single week, but I think we have to again. He's shown how important, how good he is for us. That matchup, Sewer versus Kini, is the first matchup I want to quickly talk about, Aaron.
Yeah, I just wrote there that Kini's averaging 23 runs for 197 metres this year, and half those games he hasn't even... so he's averaging 197 and his bad games have been really bad. So you have to think how good those good games actually were, because when he goes off, he's incredible. He's a dangerous ball runner, but he's also got 18 try involvements, 9 try, not including tries actually. So take the tries away, but just try assists and line break assists. He's got 9 and 9 for the year. So his ball playing is actually pretty dangerous as well. So
elite.
And the last thing I had there is he's pretty clutch. Like that moment that he pulled off against Reece Walsh, where he attacked that ball and managed. How did he hold that? Like that's fucking incredible. So his ceiling is his ceiling is so high, and he's so young. So this is a battle of the future. Kini and Sua are around for the next 10 years. This is the first chapter of it. So let's see how it goes.
Oh, this matchup is fucking mouth-watering, man. I'm sorry to swear like that, but it's so it's. I'm sorry, listeners. It's mouth-watering. This is unreal. Kini when he is on is elite. Sua when he's on and has shown that he is top of the range fullback already this year. The problem with Kini is like what we said with Weeks a few weeks ago is that see what I did there. That Weeks is a little bit too inconsistent. His elite games and his low games are too far in between, whereas Keeney's elite games and his low games are not at the gap is a lot less. But when he does have a bad game, he has a shocker, right? But Kini has some wicked ability to pass. He reads it well, and geez, he runs off the line. Like I saw an interview the other day about him, and in the post game, running off the line, and he just ran straight in at I think it was Lindsay Collins, and I was like, man, dude, you got rocks in your head because like how the hell did you do that? Because you are tiny and he's a monster, and you just did. He's just got balls. He is more than a freak. The dude is. I'm so happy that we get him in our competition for a long time. But geez, Sua, he is showing more than just being that elite runner. He's now showing ball play. He's showing second phase play. He's showing being that sort of rabbit in the game. It's going to be so fun for those Supercoach players out there. I'm captaining Sua. Sua's in for a monster game, and he's going to cross over for a try. Just put it out there, Aaron. I know you're a Supercoach dude.
I've got him, so I need everything I can get. I'll tell you, I'm fucking struggling.
Vinny's jumped on one of our SC Spectrum podcasts in one of our live streams and started talking Supercoach with us. So that's fantastic. So Captain Sua. The next one is, I think this is a big one. Our edges versus their edges. Now, the reason why I've said this is such a key matchup is because once again, our edges have changed, and we've had to manipulate and change due to injury, due to all sorts of bits and pieces. We don't have continuity in that and on our wingers, and the only winger that we've got here that has been around for the year is Warbrick. Howarth is in and out, plays a game, misses two. Meany's been out for 10 weeks or 8 weeks now. Manaya's been in and out of the team, comes in for injury, blah blah blah. Whereas we're playing against a pretty set. I mean, I know Dean Iremaya on the other side is new, but Sammy, Brimson, Fafita, like Fafita will be coming off his third Origin game. That Titans, the two Titans edges is pretty much set in stone, whereas ours isn't. So I've put that up as a key matchup.
Yeah, like I mean, again, as you said, it's just new combinations. Again, Manai hasn't been there for a few weeks. We're coming off the back of a loss. Titans love to score points. They're when they go on a run, they're actually a pretty exciting football team. So it definitely will be a challenge. And their backs, they're all crafty. They're all fast, and they're all the type that like to skip on the outside. So it's going to take some good talk and some good communication between these new edges to shut them down. But I think we can. I think the main pieces are back. Meany and Howarth have been there long enough to hold down their edges. If Munster plays and Hughesy plays and those combinations there are a little bit more familiar, I think that will help. But again, that second row being different completely again, I don't know. I worry about that. The inside and the ball shifting fast and us getting caught on the outside. So hopefully we're up to it.
Especially
and hopefully we.
Fermor.
Yeah, no, they got That's my concern this week. The second row. So.
I think a big matchup that I think is also mouth-watering is the Battle of the Bigs. Tino and Moeaki versus Steph and King. This is going to be. This is dangerous. Like you've got. I think we should win this matchup. Mofo's slow. I don't like. I think Mo Fotuaika is a bit too slow, but he is a big boy, and if he gets a bit of speed behind him and he gets some meters through him, he's definitely going to be hard to stop. Tino is Tino. I think Tino's the best prop in the competition when he's playing and when he's getting good minutes as a 60, 70-minute game against Stefano and King, who our middles have not been great most of this year. This is a huge matchup to set up because not only do they need to get meters and set us up, Harry Grant lives off the back of those two and our middles. And then off that, that's how Hughes and that's how Munster can get their run off the back of the middles. We've really got to get that sorted this week.
Yeah, especially after, Manly punched us in the face early and got out to an early start 2 weeks ago, or last game. And I don't think we can afford to have that happen again because it took us to the second half to get our shit together, and we managed to only lose the second half by 2 points, even though we'd lost two starting centres and went deep into our bench. And then we managed to start playing football, and that's just frustrating because that's a game last week where we could have banked 2 points. We could have been 2 points closer to the 8, and just because we started slow and we didn't win the middle early, we got found out. So you're right. It's a big battle, and I really think Steph's going to be up for a huge one this week.
This next one, Jaden Campbell versus Munster. Munster off the back of hopefully a big Origin win as the captain.
He might still be drunk.
How important it is. He might still be. He doesn't drink anymore.
Drunk.
He said he doesn't drink anymore.
He might after that.
Yeah, more maybe, but let's hope he's not. But the Mad Dog Munster, he's always going to be the Mad Dog to me, and I absolutely love him. Versus the up-and-coming, one of the best 5'8" in the competition, and will be by the time by the next couple of years, Jaden Campbell. Jaden Campbell versus Munster. This is going to be a juicy matchup too.
Yeah, I think Jaden Campbell, he's one of those guys that just plays above his weight. He looks small because he's skinny, but he's actually quite tall and quite I don't know, he just plays bigger than he looks. He looks thin and he looks small, but he doesn't shy away from contact. He looks for holes in the between the big guys, and he digs deep into the line and causes trouble everywhere he goes. So I think Jaden Campbell plays a huge part. If there's any chance of beating us, Campbell's going to have a really big game. So on the flip side of that, it's up to us to limit his time and space with the ball. Don't let him allow to run. And if he digs into the line, hit him hard and sit him down so he doesn't do it again, because he needs to know that he can't come in there and dictate terms and move our line around.
Jaden Campbell loves to run, and he's got lateral running speed and agility, but he can also just, if he gets his head up, he can run forward and he can break lines. He is a superstar in the making. He's going to be an absolute gun. The whole team that this Titans play off is off the back of him. He sets everything up, especially with Harrison as their halfback. Harrison's still a young, learning halfback, so he feeds off what Jaden Campbell does and how he plays. This whole team that the Titans have, if we can slow Jaden Campbell down, stop his run, his ability to even... Jaden Campbell doesn't get a lot of meters, but he does get meters, if that makes sense, because he runs east-west a lot, which really helps their forwards pick up their speed. And if you watch on the weekend, you'll see the way Jaden Campbell runs and how he plays and how that feeds off. I think Hane's changed the way he plays too, in terms of his ability to run left, right, east, west. Jaden Campbell's a gun, and he's got a very good kicking game. He can boot it a long way, and he's got the ability to put it on a dime. And that game is only getting better. I'm very keen on that one. Is there anything else you want to touch on with key matchups, mate? And guys, you get in the questions on the chat and just let us know what you think key matchups are, or how we are to stop these guys.
I really like the Warbrick versus Phil Sammy wing battle this week. I think it's another week where we've got an extra 8 inches over the opponent, and this is one where we can kick to the corner. I know Jojo is around or whatever. But I think this is an opportunity for the short kicking game of Hughesy and Munster to put it in the right spots and potentially have some damage in the air. And I think they'll go for it too.
It's interesting because Sammy's no small guy. He's 186 centimetres. I'm looking at Warbrick. He's 193. So there's a 7 centimetre gap, which is
8 inches,
which
yeah.
is pretty telling. I feel that Sammy's got some.
He's got long arms, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Warbrick's got those long arms. He's got that big jump on him. And I know it's only 7 centimetres, but it just feels like if Brick can get up over him, I think he might be able to pull down a few bombs. If he's in that mood where he's catching everything, I think we can have some joy there.
Especially if Hughes is kicking it, like with that's something that against Manly we had no kicking game at all.
Yeah. Well, it makes a big difference. We get our first choice kicker back, so fingers crossed he is back.
Is Sewer kicking goals or Meaney, Aaron?
I think if Meaney's back, I think he's kicking them. I think he probably was close to being back before the bye, from what was being said. So hopefully an extra 2 weeks means he's kicking. In saying that, Sewer kicked against Manly. Oh, he didn't have many opportunities, but he kicked one, I think. So yeah, I don't know. I think Meaney should kick.
I think Sewer kicked all right. He had a couple of stinkers where he got dragged, but then Harry came out and had an even worse stinker, and they went, no, that's not happening anymore. Sewer's back, but I think he's kicked all right. But Meaney's a much better kicker than Sewer, so I hopefully he's the one kicking. Guys, if you've got any questions or anything you want us to answer, let it go. Put it in the chat. We will talk about it now, or talk about it as we go through the last couple of minutes here. The Titans are praying the Storm's biggest opponent is the breathalyzer. Okay, Shannon. Fair, cool. Aaron, it's Origin time. Let's quickly talk about it, mate. Are you going for New South Wales or are you going for Queensland? I mean, I know you like to chop and change.
No, I'll be going for Queensland tomorrow night. I think there's too much on the line for Queensland tomorrow night. I think this is what I was saying today at work anyway. I mean, the talk is, well, not the talk. Tino's playing for his dad, and that's got to be huge. He's come out and said, I'm going to, win it for him. Jai Arrow is going to carry the shield out, and the Queenslanders are going to see that. And yeah, there's talk. I don't know how true this is, and it could be completely bullshit, but there's talk that Munster could potentially be pulling a pin on his representative career. Now, I don't know if that will happen, but if internally that is happening, I'll tell you that'll add some extra spice to this game. So that could be complete bullshit, but there is talk about it.
That's interesting because he actually said after game 2 that he was going to play next year, and that he was keen to see Dearden and Walker and him as the combination. So that'll be an interesting call. But I bloody look, to be honest, as a Storm fan, I kind of hope that's the way it is, because then he'll play next year. And as a Maroons fan, I'm like Dearden and Walker. That's juicy too. I'm very happy with that as a Maroons fan. I've got the Maroons, obviously, being a Maroons. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, I'll be watching eagerly. I think it's going to be a cracking game, man. I really do. New South Wales, on paper, I think the names are generally better than the Queensland team, but we just play as a team. We play better. I've got us winning 28-22. I think it's going to be a close one, but there'll be a few tries. And if you don't get down on, I'm doubling down on Hammer and Cobbo to get one each as well, in a bit of a best bet for anyone that wants to get around that, if you believe that. Glenn, Laurie has picked a bag of spuds. Look, he hasn't, but they play like spuds, so let's just keep it at that one.
Yeah, I think New South Wales will go into this game, and they've tried to play down that they're the underdogs, and like, don't get me wrong, they've only played I think 22 minutes of good football, and that was against 12 men when Ponga got sent off. So like this series has been one-sided to the max. Now New South Wales have spread the word that they're the underdog, and I think that will suit them. And I think they'll come out and then there'll be a bit more aggression, a bit more desire to play well. But I think the moment the full house at Suncorp, I think it's going to be a hard mountain to climb for New South Wales. And don't get me wrong, they've got it in them. They can definitely do it, but I just can't see it happening.
Shannon, I'm just going to put it up there and say thanks for the invite, being that I also live in Brisbane. That's about it, mate. Let's go, hey? Just to let everyone know, because it's a 6:15 game on the Sunday and Aaron goes to those games, is either we are going to not do a review show, we will blend the TLT on Tuesday with the review. So we'll start the podcast on Tuesday with a bit of a review of the game against the Titans, and then we'll go into TLT. It'll be about an hour and 10-ish minutes again, maybe a little bit longer just because we're going to review it, maybe around an hour and a half. We will make it live as well, hopefully kick off about 7:30 as we like to do. But yeah, just thought to let you know of that so that in case you are waiting for that. I just wanted to make sure you mention everybody. Ring Con at Freedom Finance. Ring the boys out at Premium Sports Tours to get your Vegas tickets and go for that one. And what has Glenn got here as the last comment? New South Wales is a team of individuals trying to be the best. Queensland is a team trying to be the best team. I absolutely agree, Glenn. It's exactly how I think too, and that's probably the best way to end our podcast. Aaron, thanks, man. It's good to be back. I've missed you. I've missed the podcast. Let's get back into it. Good night, everybody.
See yous.